Hello and welcome to Northwest College's Tutorial and Academic Coaching Center video on textbooks and how to use them more effectively using the SQ4R method. I want to give you a brief idea of what the SQ4R method is and how it can help you use your textbook more effectively as you make notes and study for your courses. So to do that, what we're going to do is break down what the method is. So each of the letters represents something. So we have S, Q, and 4 different R's. So S is survey. So to survey our chapter, what we want to learn is what is the chapter about, what is it we're expected to understand when we finish, and just give ourselves a introduction to the material. After that, we're going to go through the chapter and we're going to create some questions surrounding the headings and the subheadings that are found throughout that chapter. Once we've created some questions for ourselves, we're going to read each section one at a time, stopping after we read a section to record an answer to the question we created for that piece of information. So I'm going to show you that on the next slide in a second. Once we finish writing an answer or recording an answer to the question we've created, we want to recite that or speak that answer out loud to make sure that it makes sense, as well as to help it get cemented into your mind. Lastly, when we're finished, you want to do a quick review of what you've done that day before you pack up. This will help, again, create better and stronger memories, allowing you to have a better chance of recalling that information at a later date. So how that would look, if we were to look at this example of a social textbook, we can see it's actually a little bit blurry, but the title is The Fall of the Roman Empire, and we have the heading of a century in crisis, as well as then some subheadings of what the Roman economy was doing, what's happening politically, what the emperors tried to do to fix the issue. And so these are what we're going to use to create our questions. So we can have a question: what was the century in crisis? What created the century in crisis? And then we can have some sub-questions of what happened to the Roman economy to help create this crisis, what was happening to the military and in military and politics at the time, or we can ask a question about what did the emperors try to do to fix this issue. So again, these questions that we're going to create are going to be centered around what each section is about. Next, we're going to read one section at a time, and as we finish that paragraph or that section, we're going to write a short answer to the question we had just framed. And again, this gives us the opportunity to do kind of a call and response or reflect on what we just learned. So when we are completed this chapter, this could look one of two ways. We could have done where we had a section of questions and then below a section of answers. I really like this method on the left here. This creates some great study material for later where we have our questions. So again, this example comes from a science textbook. We have the questions for the section: what are magnets, what is magnetite, right? What are magnetic force fields? And then we have those answers for each underneath, right? So we have question 1, answer 1 right below, question 2, answer 2 right below. And this means that when we're studying, I can use a piece of paper to cover up my answers, and I can read the questions and see how much I remember before I double check my actual answers. There's a couple other pieces added into this that are also important or can be great tools. One is that when we're doing our survey at the very beginning and looking through the chapter as a whole, we can write down a little bit about what we know about the subject and what we expect to learn based off of what we're seeing. In the end here, I really like this last piece on the bottom right, what I need to know more about. And so this could be a great opportunity for you to write down questions for things that you don't quite get at the moment, as a reminder to ask your instructor or ask for additional help or research something at a later date. In the end, once you finish those questions, there's that review section as well where you can kind of go through, and this is a great opportunity in this review section to write in any additional information that you couldn't fit that didn't quite fit well with those questions you were answering, but you still feel is important. On the right, here's another method or another way of breaking down that information using what is called the Cornell note-taking system. And so with the Cornell note-taking system, we kind of divide our page into a left and a right column, usually by folding the page. In the left column, we'll usually write cues to ourselves, so these could be keywords, these could be short little questions about, or it could even be the information like the headings or the subheadings in the textbook. Then on the right-hand side, that's going to be where we actually write our notes, where we can write our questions and answers and our reflections or review at the end. And so again, this creates a little bit of a way for us to quickly look through our notes later on to find the information that we want a little bit faster. And so that's the second method of how we could actually structure our notes. If you have any more questions about either of these ideas, how you can use your textbook more effectively using the SQ4R method, or how you can take better notes from your textbook, please come visit us at norquest.ca/tutor to speak with a tutor coach. Thank you.